4,300 years ago, a man of humble beginnings embarked on a journey that would redefine power and governance. Sargon of Akkad, once a mere gardener, ascended to become the architect of history's first empire, a feat that would echo through the ages. The transformation of Sargon, whose real name remains a mystery, from obscurity to emperor, is as legendary as it is enigmatic. His chosen title, Sargon, meaning legitimate king in Akkadian, hints at the contentious circumstances of his rise to power. Around 2334 BCE, this audacious figure claimed dominion over an expanse larger than modern France. The tale of Sargon's ascent combines elements of divine intervention and political pragmatism. According to the legend of Sargon, he was born to a high priestess who set him adrift in a reed basket on the Euphrates River. Rescued by a water drawer named Aki, Sargon was raised as a gardener. This narrative, reminiscent of the biblical Moses, paints Sargon as a figure predestined for greatness. From gardener to cupbearer, Sargon's early career positioned him as the second in command under King Ur-Zababa of Kish. This role was not merely ceremonial. It provided him with access to the intricacies of governance and military strategy. It was a stepping stone for an ambitious mind keen on learning the art of leadership. In 2340 BCE, Sargon capitalized on his knowledge and position to overthrow Ur-Zababa, seizing control of Kish. But his ambitions extended beyond this single city. To the south, the Sumerian city-states, Ur, Uruk, Lagash, and Eridu had thrived as the cradle of civilization, yet were mired in perpetual conflict. These rich, culturally advanced cities were ripe for unification under a singular banner. Sargon's most formidable rival was Lugal-Zagizi, who had managed to unite much of Sumer and declared himself king of the land. Their inevitable conflict was not just a battle for supremacy. It was a clash between the entrenched Sumerian nobility and a rising Akkadian outsider. The decisive encounter at Uruk in 2334 BCE ended with Sargon's victory and Lugal-Zagizi's humiliation, showcasing not only military prowess but a new model of rule. Sargon's approach was revolutionary. Rather than simply subjugating the conquered lands, he imposed a new order. He installed Akkadian governors, standardized taxes, and demanded loyalty to Akkad, his capital. This was the genesis of the empire as a concept, a unified entity governed by a central authority, transcending the mere collection of tributes. One of Sargon's key innovations was the establishment of history's first professional standing army, consisting of 5,400 soldiers who ate bread daily before him. This force was not a seasonal militia, but a permanent body loyal solely to the emperor. This strategic move ensured a continual military presence capable of enforcing his rule across vast territories. Sargon's military tactics were as advanced as his administrative strategies. His army used composite bows, superior to the simpler bows of their adversaries, to dominate the battlefield. His strategic formations, adaptable to various terrains, demonstrated a sophisticated understanding of warfare that surpassed that of his contemporaries. Yet his true genius lay in administration. Conquered cities were not just subdued, but integrated into a cohesive system. Sargon replaced local rulers with Akkadian officials, ensuring direct reporting to the central government. He introduced standardized weights and measures, creating a uniform economic system that facilitated trade and resource management. Trade under Sargon flourished, with networks extending from Anatolian silver mines to the lapis lazuli deposits of Afghanistan, and even reaching the Indus Valley. This extensive commercial web not only enriched Akkad, but also ensured a steady flow of resources necessary for maintaining the empire's infrastructure and military might. To solidify his rule among the religious Sumerians, Sargon made a shrewd political move by appointing his daughter Enheduanna as the high priestess of the moon god at Ur. Enheduanna became a pioneering figure in her own right, recognized as the world's first known author, whose hymns and writings still resonate today. Through her, Sargon bridged the cultural divide, presenting his rule as divinely sanctioned. For over half a century, Sargon reigned over his vast empire, his later years marred by rebellions and challenges inherent in managing such an expansive realm. His legacy endured through his descendants, culminating in the reign of his grandson Naram-Sin, who would declare himself a god further cementing the Akkadian Empire's influence. As the Akkadian Empire expanded, it confronted challenges that were as formidable as its achievements. The empire's sheer size, encompassing diverse cultures and geographies, posed logistical and administrative difficulties unprecedented in human history. Sargon's successors, his sons Rimush and Manishtushu, inherited both the empire's vast potential and its inherent vulnerabilities. Rimush, assuming power after Sargon's death, faced immediate rebellion throughout the empire. His reign was marked by constant warfare as he endeavored to quell uprisings and reassert Akkadian dominance. Despite these challenges, Rimush managed to maintain control, leveraging the centralized administrative systems put in place by his father. His ability to suppress dissent underscored the resilience of the Akkadian state apparatus. Following Rimush's assassination, Manishtushu ascended the throne. Continuing his brother's efforts, he focused on consolidating Akkadian power and expanding trade networks. Under Manishtushu, the empire saw an increase in long-distance trade, further enriching Akkad through increased access to resources like copper and precious stones. Despite his efforts, Manishtushu too met a violent end, indicative of the persistent internal strife that plagued the empire. The most renowned of Sargon's descendants was his grandson, Naram-Sin, who brought the Akkadian Empire to its zenith. Naram-Sin's reign was characterized by ambitious military campaigns and religious innovations. He conducted successful expeditions into the Zagros Mountains and along the Persian Gulf, extending Akkadian influence even further. Naram-Sin's remarkable achievements were immortalized in the Victory Stele, an iconic artifact depicting him as a divine figure, trampling his enemies underfoot. This stele not only celebrated his military prowess, but also marked a significant cultural shift. By declaring himself a god, Naram-Sin broke with traditional Mesopotamian beliefs and set a precedent for future rulers who sought divine legitimacy. Yet, Naram-Sin's deification was not without controversy. His claim to divinity stirred unrest among the deeply religious populace, who viewed such assertions as sacrilegious. Nonetheless, his reign marked a period of relative stability and prosperity, with the empire's infrastructure and trade networks reaching new heights. However, the latter part of Naram-Sin's reign was marred by a devastating environmental crisis known as the 4.2 kilo-year event. This period of severe aridity and drought crippled agricultural production across Mesopotamia, leading to widespread famine and social upheaval. Archaeological evidence from sites like Tel Leilan corroborates the scale of this environmental catastrophe, which precipitated the decline of the Akkadian Empire. As the empire struggled to cope with these challenges, external pressures mounted. The Gutians, a nomadic people from the Zagros Mountains, took advantage of the weakened state to launch invasions. Their incursions further destabilized the region, leading to the eventual collapse of Akkadian rule around 2154 BCE. Despite the empire's fall, Sargon's legacy endured. His pioneering model of centralized governance and professional military organization laid the groundwork for future empires. The administrative techniques he developed continued to influence Mesopotamian rulers, including the Third Dynasty of Ur. The city-states of Mesopotamia, once fragmented and vulnerable, had been transformed into a cohesive entity under Sargon's rule. His empire served as a blueprint for subsequent civilizations, providing a model for governance that emphasized unity, efficiency, and control. This legacy of centralized power and cultural integration reverberated through the centuries, shaping the political landscape of the ancient world. Sargon's influence extended beyond the borders of his empire. His military and administrative practices were studied and emulated by later cultures, spreading the concept of empire far and wide. The Assyrians and Babylonians, among others, drew inspiration from Akkadian precedents. Intriguingly, the city of Akkad itself, Sargon's capital, remains elusive to modern archaeologists. Despite extensive searches, its exact location has never been definitively identified. This lost city stands as a symbol of the enduring allure of Sargon's empire. In the centuries following the Akkadian Empire's fall, Mesopotamian culture continued to flourish. The notion of a unified state, governed by a central authority, became a hallmark of advanced civilizations. The Chronicles of Sargon of Akkad remind us that the seeds of empire were sown on the banks of the Euphrates. His legacy, woven into the fabric of history, continues to inspire the pursuit of unity and power on a grand scale. As the Akkadian Empire gave way to new powers, the template Sargon established persisted. The legacy of Sargon of Akkad was not merely confined to the annals of history. It was woven into the very structure of future empires. As the Akkadian Empire receded into the shadows of time, the ideas it fostered continued to echo through the centuries. These echoes reached their crescendo in the Neo-Assyrian Empire, which emerged as a formidable power in the first millennium BCE. The Assyrians, with their capital at Nineveh, became adept at maintaining a vast empire through a sophisticated network of roads and communication systems. This was reminiscent of Sargon's centralization efforts. The Assyrian kings emulated Sargon's model by maintaining a standing army and fostering a sense of divine kingship. Rulers like Sargon II named themselves in homage to the Akkadian founder. These rulers expanded their dominion, stretching from Egypt to the Persian Gulf. This echoed the territorial ambitions first realized under Sargon. Not only did Sargon's concepts influence the Assyrians, but they also left an imprint on the Babylonians. The famed Babylonian king Hammurabi, known for his code of laws, adopted Sargon's administrative strategies to unify his empire. Like Sargon, Hammurabi sought to standardize practices across his domains. He established a legal framework that would become one of history's most enduring legacies. Further afield, the influence of Sargon's empire-building efforts could be seen in the Persian Empire under Cyrus the Great. Cyrus, who established the Achaemenid Empire in the 6th century BCE, implemented a model of governance that emphasized respect for local customs while maintaining central control. This balance of central authority and local autonomy was an innovation traceable to Sargon's administration. Even beyond the Near East, the echoes of Sargon's empire resounded. The concept of centralized governance spread through trade routes and cultural exchanges. It reached the Mediterranean and influenced the burgeoning civilizations of Greece and Rome. The Romans in particular admired and incorporated the idea of a unified state with a professional army. This concept had its roots in Sargon's pioneering empire. The cultural impact of Sargon's reign extended beyond politics and warfare. His daughter Enheduanna, as the high priestess of the moon god Nanna, became a cultural icon in her own right. Her poetic works, written in Sumerian, are some of the earliest examples of literary art. These works have survived the ravages of time. Her hymns not only elevated her father's status, but also contributed to the development of literature as a form of political and religious expression. Archaeologically, the Akkadian period has provided invaluable insights into early imperial statecraft. Excavations at sites like Tel Brak and Tel Leilan have uncovered evidence of Sargon's administrative reach. These artifacts include clay tablets detailing the logistics of empire management. These artifacts reveal the sophistication of Akkadian governance, from tax records to legal decrees. This underscores the complexity of Sargon's imperial machine. Culturally, the Akkadian language and artistic styles spread throughout the region. These influences affected subsequent generations. The use of Akkadian as a lingua franca facilitated communication and trade across vast territories. This laid the groundwork for a shared cultural and linguistic heritage in Mesopotamia. Despite the decline of the Akkadian Empire, the mythos of Sargon endured in the region's collective consciousness. Ancient texts revered him as a legendary figure. This narrative persisted through oral traditions and later writings. He was celebrated not only for his conquests, but also for his ability to unify disparate peoples under a single banner. Today, the search for Akkad, Sargon's elusive capital, continues to captivate archaeologists and historians. Its discovery would offer a tangible link to the past. It would provide a glimpse into the heart of the empire that created the paradigm of imperial rule. The quest to uncover Akkad remains one of the most tantalizing mysteries in archaeology. It promises new insights into the civilization that set the stage for future empires. Sargon of Akkad, a figure who rose from humble beginnings to redefine the possibilities of human governance, remains an enduring symbol of ambition and innovation. His story is a testament to the transformative power of vision and determination. And so, the legacy of Sargon of Akkad endures, a testament to the indomitable spirit of human ambition.